Hi everyone and welcome to dinner at our house. Tonight we're going to have a roast pork with Steve's special potatoes. Everyone's been asking about this recipe. So let's get started. First of all, we need to get the potatoes on. So I've just recently purchased one of the Tupperware Potato Mates, which is where I now house our potatoes. And the idea of this Tupperware product is that the environment is cool, dark and well ventilated, and it extends the life of the potatoes. So to start with, we're just going to simply peel some potatoes. Okay, the potatoes are all peeled, and the next step is to chop them. Now, it doesn't really matter how big or how small we do this. We do like them bite size, and that way they're nice and crunchy. So once the potatoes are chopped, you need to pop them into the base of the colander and give the potatoes a good rinse. Give them a good shake, drain out as much of the water as you can, pop the top of the Duo Colander on and turn it upside and give it a good shake. Now the potatoes are ready to go into the steamer. Pop them in. We just need to let the potatoes steam for between 5 and 10 minutes depending on the size of each individual potato piece. The potatoes have been cooking now for about 7 to 8 minutes, and it's time to check to make sure that they're ready to go. There's lovely little bits of broken bits of potato, which is a really good sign, but the other way to check is to use a nice pointy sharp knife. Popping it into the potato, it should cut it nice and easily. You do not want them to be mushy, they need to still be nice and firm. So now the next thing to do is to pop them into a colander. You'll see that there's lots of lovely steam coming off the potatoes, and it's important, really important at this point, that you let the potatoes sit and rest until there's no longer any steam coming from the potatoes. It doesn't matter if they go cold at this point. The potatoes are nearly ready, so at this point I'm going to duck outside and cut some thyme from our garden, and I'm going to pop across the road and get some rosemary as well. The potatoes are ready, we've got some thyme and we have some rosemary. And now this is the critical step necessary, using some special ingredients. The fry pan's on. Now we've got to do this really quickly to make sure that the butter doesn't actually burn. So we're popping in the butter, and while the butter is starting to melt, we're using some oil. Now today we're using canola oil, but you can use a light olive oil as well. Quickly get some salt into your pan, a bit of cracked pepper, some garlic granules, and some onion salt. Now you can use fresh garlic, but you don't want it to be too overpowering on your potatoes. So just letting that melt. And now we're going to chuck in the potatoes. Now this is the really important part of this process, is tossing your potatoes. So make sure that you've got someone that's quite competent at doing this, to make sure that the butter is evenly spread out on your potatoes. You may need a little bit of extra salt, maybe a little bit of extra pepper, whatever you need for flavouring. So now we need to add in our herbs. You can just simply chuck your rosemary into it, and with your thyme you just need to break off the leaves. The herbs are in, so now at this point it's a good idea to give it a good toss, making sure that it's well coated onto your potatoes. Now you can cook your potatoes a little bit longer on the fry pan if you want to shorten the time that they go in the oven. Otherwise, at this point, once everything is coated nicely with the butter, the oil and the herbs, you can take them out of the fry pan and pop them into the oven with the oven on at about 220 degrees. So we're happy with the potatoes at this point, and so we're going to pop them into the white dish. and ready to go into the oven.
Beautiful.
While the pork and potatoes are in the oven cooking, I'm playing with the Mando Chef. It's a new product for me, and I've just julienned the carrots ready for us to steam, and I'm just going to show you how to slice your zucchinis. So what we need to do is first chop the ends of the zucchini off, and you want to make them a little bit smaller so they're easier to manage. So I've just chopped the zucchini into 3 pieces. I've just safely inserted the zucchini into the safety hand holder, and now I'm ready to slice my zucchini. I've actually got this set quite thick. You might be able to see that there's a few different blades that you can use on the Mando Chef, and there's also different settings depending on how thick you want your slices or whatever it is that you're using your Mando Chef to do. So to make it work, basically I'm pushing down on the holder as I'm slicing to get right to the end of the zucchini. And there we go. Zucchini and carrots are ready to steam. We've just pulled the potatoes out. They're looking really good, and the pork's out on the bench resting. All we need to do now is give the potatoes a really good stir around, making sure that they're well coated and they're not sticking to the bottom of the dish. And they just need to go back into the oven for about another 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, our roast is ready. So we've got our pork, our delicious crackling Steve's special potatoes, good to go. Some beautiful steamed fresh vegetables and a lovely gravy. So I think it's time to eat.